Energetic charge is the lingering effect of an experience that's gotten lodged in your body or your energy field or your psyche. You can feel it physiologically as pain or tension or sensation. You can also just feel off, like things aren't exactly the same. Something feels awry and it doesn't feel right. Being able to recognize energetic charge and plugging in accordingly is, in my opinion, it's life saving. So you want to learn to choose your battles. When an experience happens that's tense or intense or chaotic or uncomfortable, it's important to get clarity around what is yours and what is theirs. In other words, what energy is coming directly from you? What is your response or reaction to the experience that's happening versus what's the response or energy coming from others? You don't have to accept any heavy energy if it's not your burden. And you can learn to not judge what doesn't actually bother you. Don't feed into the hype or the drama or the chaos if it doesn't affect you. Learn to stay neutral. And as you practice learning to stay neutral and pulling your energy out or keeping your energy out of things that don't pertain to your personal life, you'll be breaking cycles and patterns and initiating brand new paradigms, not only for yourself, but for any children that you have, and any loved ones that you're around. So we can make a lot of harder decisions easier by just pulling ourselves out of things that aren't our concern, things that aren't our business. So I want to try and explain this a little bit more because this is really, really important to understand and to integrate because it can really keep us from being dysregulated, and it can also keep us from creating unnecessary habits or patterns or cycles. And then, of course, we can alleviate karma better. So, energetic charge often lingers long after an event hasn't occurred. So, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're in a building, like a therapy office, maybe you're in therapy with me. And next door in the other office, there's an argument. You can hear a spouse and another spouse arguing. They get loud, it's getting really heated. There's a crescendo of voices. And then let's say you hear the door open and somebody storms out. You can tell somebody storms out, then the other partner storms out, and then maybe the therapist runs after them. We hear all of this next door. You might even hear the door slam open or shut. So the people who were arguing obviously are going to be carrying some lingering residue from whatever tension that was about, right? But those of us next door that heard the tension, even though we weren't in the actual room, to some degree, our nervous systems were affected by that experience that we heard. We weren't even in the room, but we heard it and it did affect us. It's at this moment that we need to make a decision. Are we going to accept the charge of their energy and their argument, or are we going to defend our psyche, our heart, our energy field from what was just happening? Because if we don't protect ourselves, then it allows our energy field and our peace of mind to be hijacked by the people, situations, places, and things around us. So, of course, those people that were arguing are going to have their own physiological effect, right? However, the residue of their energy, their tone of voice, even the facial expressions that they were making in the room, though we didn't see it, imagine if we walked in the room right after they left. We would feel the tension. Have you ever walked around two people and you didn't witness anything, but there's so much tension between the two of them, you could cut it like a knife. You can feel it, right? You can tell that there's disagreement, or there's disharmony. Maybe they were just arguing or bickering. Something was happening. You can feel it. Their experience can affect our physiological body. Their tone of voice, whether we hear it or don't hear it, can affect us. Their facial expressions, their nervous system, everything that's going on with them, the energetic charge that occurred between the two of them, even though it's not even our business, it's not even our concern, affects everything about us when we are around that energy. So, energetic charge is, it's experienced in the world all the time. It's happening, as we're driving, the people in the cars next to us are having their energetic experience, and it can occur within our families and our neighborhoods and our communities. And it can even be, experienced internationally and globally. And those of us who are energy sensitives are dialing in to the energetic experiences of the people and the environment around us. Because we're all connected in a multifaceted way, our collective and individual nervous systems get impacted by charged, situations. In order to protect our nervous system, we have to learn to recognize the charge. And we want to learn to only plug into what is absolutely necessary. So if a family or world event affects you, then go ahead and plug in accordingly. And what I mean by plug in accordingly is if there's some chaotic or tense situation in your family that has to be addressed for it to be resolved, then go ahead and do what's necessary to bring peace and healing and resolution. However, let's say that your aunt, Becky, is arguing with your aunt Sarah, and this is an argument that's been going on for years, and it has nothing to do with you. In fact, it began before you were born over something really stupid. Maybe they both like the same guy, but they marry different people. So it's like it's of no consequence at this point, but they're still arguing. Or they're arguing over who makes the better peach pie, something mundane. There's no need to invest, right, your energy in anything like that. Why stress yourself out over something that is none of your concern? However, if it's a family dilemma that is going to um, wreak havoc on various members of the family or impact the elderly in your family, or your living situation or your financial situation, then obviously you're going to want to invest and do whatever you need to do to bring peace and resolution. However, even when we are committed to creating peace and resolution, we still only want to plug in accordingly, meaning invest the energy that the situation warrants and requires, no more, no less. And when it's time to pull your energy out, be bold and pull your energy out of all situations that no longer serve you and are not required or no longer appropriate. Also, when you're experiencing energetic charge, check in with your own body. Does your body enjoy the experience of charge? Most of the time when we think of charge, we think of heaviness or overload or overwhelm. But energetic charge can sometimes be positive. Like, for example, if it's your wedding day or your graduation day, you may feel a lot of energetic charge in the body, but it's not debilitating. It's actually feeling really good and it's really exciting, kind of like butterflies that feel good in the body. I wonder where that saying came from, butterflies in the stomach. That's an interesting, I have no idea where that came from, but we say it, right? So check in with your body and allow the brain and your body and your nervous system to all work together in concert and decide what you want to invest in. So let's say that a family member comes to you with a really, toxic drama-based situation that has to be addressed, but you're having a reaction like you don't really want to get yourself involved in it. Maybe it involves financial stuff, or maybe it's who knows what it is, but you just don't, something about it is making you feel sick to your stomach, and you're not really sure you want to put any time or energy into it, but this family member wants you to get involved. Well, allow your brain and your body and your nervous system, and of course, your spirit, your energy, all of that to work together so that you can decide whether you're going to invest or not. A lot of the times we can avoid physical sickness, emotional distress, heartbreak, pain, overwhelm, overload, if we would just listen to our body. Our bodies are so intricate, and our brain and body together is such a sophisticated system. If we listen to the signs, the physiological sensation, the symptoms might be physical pain or aches or tension or stress, or you just don't want to get out of bed. The thought of having a conversation with someone brings you dread. That doesn't mean don't have the conversation, but it's important to pay attention to the internal dialogue that's happening within you so that you know how to navigate accordingly. Now, when the charge is heavy, pull out of that energy quickly. Don't invest your energy into things that are none of your concern or overwhelming and not serving your highest good. Now, let's say there's a global event, like we've had several global events over the last couple of years that affected everybody, affected the entire world. However, we all got to decide individually how we were going to plug into that energy and when we were going to pull out. So I'll give you an example. Some people that I know watched the news constantly over the last few years. They had the news playing in their homes all day long, reporting all of the, everything that was going on that was not pleasant, whether it was war or plague or disease or death or famine, playing in the background all day long for hours at a time. And they believed that they needed to do this in order to continue to be abreast of what's going on in the world. Those people generally were extremely anxious all day long. And I strongly encourage many of them to turn the news off. I personally don't watch the news at all. I don't need to, because every time I turn on, my phone or any of my emails, there's always a news feed, always, always, always there. So I always know what's, important or serious going on. I don't actually have to have the news on in order to get news. Even with our smartphones, we get, flood alerts and amber alerts, and we get all kinds of alerts. So anytime there's something going on, I either find out by just turning on my phone or my email, or my clients, my family, or my friends. I have news. I have plenty of sources of news without actually watching the news. And I think that's probably true for all of us, unless we live off grid, remotely. And then in that case, you're probably not watching the news on purpose. Anyway, all that to say, when world events are going on, we can even choose how much we want to invest our energy into what's going on. We need to know things so that we can protect ourselves and stay safe. But how much are you going to inundate yourself? And how much are you going to wreak havoc on your nervous system? If the news is causing you stress and anxiety, turn it off. Go for a walk, be in nature, breathe, drink some water, get some rest, reduce screen time. Don't continue to wreak havoc on the nervous system and pour your energy into something that is too heavy for your system. Remember, our nervous systems were not designed to manage half the stuff we go through. The fight or flight response is actually a very positive, healthy defense mechanism within our being, but it is taxed, it is overworked, overused, because we are, unfortunately dealing with so many things in the world that we shouldn't have had to deal with, right? There's so many things going on and that have happened that we weren't really designed as humans to have to cope with. So pull your energy out quickly to avoid unnecessary charge in the body, in the psyche, in the heart space, and in your energy field. And when you've been slimed or contaminated by somebody else's energetic charge or their vibration or their frequency, some basic natural things you can do would be to take a salt bath, or go to the beach and get in the water, take a walk. You can stretch. Exercise is really good. I like jumping jacks and push ups and sit ups, or jumping rope, or roller skating when I've had some charge enter into my physical body that I just want to release. There's also aromatherapy and music. You can dance it out. Of course, say something. When you've been exposed to heavy energetic charge, say something, deactivate that charge. Just simply say, I give myself permission to release all this heaviness, or I'm letting go of charge right now, or I deactivate worry, I'm deactivating fear, I'm releasing fear, I'm releasing overwhelm, I'm letting go of anxiety, kick rocks anxiety, anything like that, okay? And then energetically, you can do your ceremonies, your prayers, your rituals, you can cut cords, you can dissolve cords, you can banish the energy, whatever you've got to do. Just keep that negative, icky, sticky, yucky, energetic charge far, far, far away from you. Keep it out of your system, out of your being, and away from you. Finally, if the energy feels good, it's your wedding day, it's your graduation day, it's promotion day, you just woke up on the right side of the bed, feeling really good about your life. You're seeing the glass as half full or really full, and you're feeling really awesome, and you're ready to take on the world. And those days, right? Those beautiful days where we wake up just feeling good. We feel on point. You went to the gym and your workout was on point, and you had, lunch with your friends, and it was so good to catch up. And you played with your dog, and you guys had so much fun. All that kind of stuff. You hung out with family, and the gathering went perfectly. You baked, the most amazing meal, and everything was amazing and wonderful and perfect. Like on those days where the energy feels good and the charge feels electric. Notice the difference between electric charge and heavy charge. Okay. When it feels electric, when it feels amazing, when it feels beautiful, when it feels unearthing in a good way, in a positive way, then simply breathe into that energy. Notice that it feels good, and breathe into it, feel into it, hold it, and expand it within you. Expand it within your physical being, and expand it within your energetic field, and express gratitude for being in that energy charge in that moment. One of my mentors used to say, our lives as humans is a constant experience of shrinking our negative ball of energy, all of the negative vibes, shrink, 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 shrink every day, every moment, every second. And then at the same time, expand our positive energy, our positive vibe, our positive thoughts, our gratitude, and our thankfulness. So shrinking the negative while at the same time expanding the positive. So when you are in that moment of experiencing positive energetic charge, everything's going well, you're getting compliments or affirmations, or you're validating yourself, you're loving yourself first, you have congruent, aligned, beautiful, reciprocal relationships, and you feel like you're walking on air. Breathe into it, hold it, feel into it, express gratitude, and expand that positive charge over your life.